You have questions?
What is slashing?
We have answers.
Slashing is like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. And there's a penalty for that?
Yeah. You do that, you go to the box, 2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame, and then you get free.
This is CBJ in 30.
Anything you folks want to know about the fascinating world of pro hockey? Here we go.
Tweet your questions by using the hashtag CBJIN30.
We'd like to remind you folks, keep your questions within the boundaries of good taste.
Here's your host, Bob McElligott.
Yeah, turn up your volume. There you go. Welcome to another edition of CBJ in 30. It's a game day edition here from Nationwide Arena today. The Blue Jackets getting set to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. And this is the first of a home-and-home series between these two teams, as a matter of fact, because they'll play here tonight, and then the Blue Jackets will travel to Carolina and play in Raleigh on Friday evening. The Carolina Hurricanes, up until their past two games, this team was a patsy. It was an easy team. Everybody wanted them on their schedule. They would be easy to play. They had 0 wins. They had 0 going in their favor. They had absolutely nothing positive happening for them up until this past weekend. And now they do have something positive going for them. They have won back-to-back games, and they've done it really in 2 impressive fashions. Number one, they shut out the Arizona Coyotes 3-0. Now, before you say, well, are the Coyotes that much of a powerhouse team? Is that impressive? Yeah, it is. When you have 0 wins going into the game, and then you shut out your opponent, that's impressive. So there you go. They shut out the Arizona Coyotes and get their first win of the season, and then they come back, and this is impressive, on Sunday with a 3-2 win over the Los Angeles Kings, the defending Stanley Cup champions. So this is a Carolina team that is pretty confident in itself right now, coming into these 2 games against the Blue Jackets this week. So they're feeling good. Feeling good. Hopefully they're feeling so good that they make mistakes and they get reminded how bad they really are when it's all said and done before the week is out. So we shall see. See what happens here between these 2 teams tonight. Let's get right to it before I get to your questions, which I'll go to, and then we'll get I've got some audio cuts from the dressing room this morning, some things we'll talk about. Ryan Murray not going to play in tonight's game. Todd Richards said he had a minor setback on his injury, so he's not going to play. He is out. Frederic St. Denis, who was just called up from the American Hockey League, is going to play in his place tonight. Of course, Cody Golubev got hurt in the game against the New Jersey Devils the other evening, so he's unavailable to play. So you're down to your 9th defenseman in the organization, as they say. Frederic St. Denis is going to get in, and he is going to play tonight. But Boone Jenner and Matt Calvert are coming back, so that's the good news. So before we get to your questions, let's just roll right into it here and hear from the head coach, Todd Richards, about the injury situation, about what he needs his team to do tonight, all of those things as we get ready for the Blue Jackets and the Hurricanes tonight. Well, Todd, back at it tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's start with the positive news. You're going to get 2 guys back into your lineup tonight, Matt Calvert, who's been out since the Anaheim game, and even more importantly, Boone Jenner, who's finally going to play a game for you this season. Having those 2 guys back, and especially Boone, what's that going to do for your lineup?
Well, we're adding 2 guys that have played at this level and proven that they can produce and play at this level. So it's getting 2 quality guys, NHL players back, and hopefully that'll give a good shot in the arm to our team. Boone, injury that happened in exhibition, obviously really disappointed in his first game back. So there should be a good energy boost, but we got to find a way to come out in the first period and use that to our advantage. But then it's got to carry through for the full 60 minutes.
And I guess you can't get too excited because Cody Golubev got hurt the other day. He's not going to be able to play for a couple of weeks, and now Ryan Murray is unable to play tonight. So it seems like just as you get somebody back, you're losing somebody else.
It's the way it's going right now. It just seems like it's game to game. We get into games and there's just bad news at the end of the game. And hopefully this is just something that we're dealing with right now. And there comes a point here, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later, that we're getting through games and we're healthy and we're getting guys back in the lineup and we're able to keep guys in the lineup rather than add 2 guys and and then lose somebody.
Staying on that same theme, I wanted to ask you about special teams and especially your penalty kill, which started off very good and then recently has been giving up goals, and put the power play in on this too. Does it have to do with the fact of you are changing personnel so much and you're looking for a fit because the guys that you would have in those roles normally many times have not been available for you?
That's a part of it. But again, it's opportunity for other players, and you're looking for them to, there's no option, there's no choice but to step in and do a job. One of the things that's going to be, I think, somewhat, I'm not going to say difficult, but it's going to be a transition that we're going to have to, all these guys have missed substantial time, the guys that are out of the lineup, that when they get back in, number one is building up the chemistry, understanding the systems, and then being able to go out and execute it. And then there's also going to be the physical standpoint that when you miss a substantial amount of time, it's going to take a little bit of time to get that back. Our penalty kill has to be better. And when you go back and you look at the tape, it's for good parts of our penalty kill, we do a good job on the kill. And, whether it's up ice, whether it's in zone, maybe it's a bad clear that we don't execute off of it. And it gives the team a second chance. Maybe they're generating a chance or end up scoring a goal. The tying goal in New Jersey was just a simple shot to the net. And our guys, we were positionally, you look at it, we're in good position, turns into a scramble. They make a play and they execute and it ends up in the back of the net, and the score is tied. So we have to get better at it. No excuses. We have to get better. We got to find ways to keep the puck out of our net, whether it's winning battles, blocking shots, winning faceoffs. We have to find a way to do it.
Carolina went into this past weekend having not won a game. All of a sudden, they've won 2. They beat Arizona, and then they're coming off a big win over the defending Stanley Cup champion Los Angeles Kings. There is so much parity in this league. You talk about it all the time. It doesn't matter what a team's record is. Anybody really can win on any given night. So what do you expect from the Hurricanes here, who are looking to ride this to a 3-game win streak?
Oh, they're feeling good about themselves. And to be honest with you, they don't feel bad for us. They're coming in and feeling good, and I guarantee you that probably their attitude, their perspective, I guess I shouldn't say that because I don't know what they're thinking, but I've been on that side where at times when you haven't found ways to win games, when you're struggling to find wins, sometimes you're hoping for it. And once you've won a couple games, then you start believing in it, becomes a confidence, and then you start expecting it. And, I would think that the mentality over on the other side is now that they're expecting to win. And so we're going to face a team that has some confidence. They've won games, and as you said, a big emotional win versus the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Kings. So they're going to come in and they're going to look at us and say, all right, they're ripe. Let's go out and get them.
So that is head coach Todd Richards talking about his team's game. You look at the Carolina Hurricanes in the midst of their morning skate right now. I have a couple of questions already on today's show that have to do with morale. And one of those is coming from Jody, and the other one here is from Kelly Blaine asking about the Blue Jackets team morale. What is it like tonight? I think it's pretty good, but well, it's good because there's some guys coming back into the lineup like Boone Jenner, and let's hear from Boone right now.
Well, Boone, you finally get a chance to get back in a game today. I'm sure it's felt like forever for you since training camp when you broke your hand. How excited are you about tonight?
Really excited. I think, the last week of practice, actually being out there with the guys, and, it's been getting that much, I've been getting that much more anxious and stuff. And, I think that today was the day we said it was go. So, I'm pretty excited and looking forward to tonight.
I know it's hard to sit out whether the team's winning or losing, but in this 5-game losing streak, how much have you just said to yourself, I got to get out there, I've got to try to help turn this thing around?
Yeah, it's tough. I think, from the first game of the year to the last game on Saturday night there, it's been tough to watch each game, when you want to be out there and helping the guys. So, right now we're looking forward. We're not looking back at that. There's no reason tonight, Tuesday night here at home, we shouldn't come out flying, and I think we got to be eager for a win.
When you look around the room and you get back in here, do you feel that your teammates are getting a little bit excited? Not just you, but Matt Calvert, you're coming back in, and for them, I'm sure it's nice to see some bodies coming back to the lineup instead of leaving the lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I think, with all the guys leaving the lineup, like you said, the last couple of weeks, it's good to, get a couple healthy guys in here. And me and Maddie coming back on the same night, it's good. Hopefully we can provide some fresh legs and some energy out there for the guys.
And I was just going to say, I imagine we'll see nothing different in your game. It'll be all about energy and going to the net, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I'm just going to go out, try to come out with a storm and play the way I can.
this Carolina team, they have a little bit of confidence coming into this game with back-to-back wins. They do have good players, despite whatever their record says. What do you expect from them tonight?
Yeah, they're a good team, and like you said, they've come off 2 big wins. So they're coming in here. They're hungry. They're feeling good, I think. So, like I said, we got to come out hard. This is our building. We got to come out with that energy and eagerness and play the way we can.
And that is Boone Jenner talking about tonight's game against the Carolina Hurricanes here at Nationwide Arena. And the Hurricanes down on the ice right now for their morning skate, finishing up that morning skate. And one more guy I want you to hear from before we go to more of your questions today. That's Brian Gibbons. And I thought Brian Gibbons came in and really played well the other day against the New Jersey Devils. He gave the Blue Jackets, well, exactly what they thought they were getting when they signed him in the offseason from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Gave him speed, gave him quickness, came out on the very first shift. He and Jack Skilly got together for the first goal of the game. I had a chance to catch up with Brian a little bit earlier.
Well, Brian, you finally got a chance to get into a Blue Jackets uniform last game against New Jersey, had an immediate impact assisting on the first goal. Looked like you were just playing your game out there, and you looked like you felt well, and everything was normal. Is that the way it was?
Yeah, I think having a good first shift definitely helped get some confidence, and Nick and Jack definitely helped out too. They're always in the right spots, and they work hard and they play a fast game, so they're easy guys to play with.
It had to be frustrating for you, I would imagine. In training camp, you get hurt, you never really get a chance to show everything you can do. You had to go back to Springfield. I know you've been through all of that before, but was that something you were hoping you didn't have to do? But hey, you just get through it and you're back here?
Yeah, obviously I think everyone's goal coming into camp is to try and make the team, and when it doesn't happen, it can be a little disappointing, but like you said, I've been through it 3 times now, I think 4 times before, so used to it and just keep working and just wait for a chance, I guess.
You talk about playing with Nick Foligno and Jack Skilly and their speed. Really, it seems like that's a great match for you because you all play a similar style of game, don't you?
Yeah, I think as a line we're trying to play as fast as we can and, have the puck as for the most part. And, when we get a chance to make plays, I think, we all have some skills, so we try and make plays when it's available.
Even though you haven't been here throughout this entire streak, I'm sure there's a lot of frustration in this room. What's the mindset going into this game against Carolina tonight?
I think we're really focused. We had a good practice yesterday and a good skate today, so just refocused and, a lot of energy with Boone and Maddie coming back in the lineup. So I think the boys are ready.
All right, that is Brian Gibbons talking about tonight's matchup with the Carolina Hurricanes here at Nationwide Arena. And this game getting underway at 7 o'clock tonight, as a matter of fact. Let's get to your question, see what's on your mind today on this game day edition of CBJ in 30. And we'll go right to it. I'm going to delve right in here today. Nate Orsini wants to know, good question here for Nate. Will Boone Jenner be at center or is he going to be on the wing? Nate, he'll be on the wing tonight. Alexander Wenberg is going to play in the middle between Matt Calvert and Boone Jenner. And, Boone said he's felt comfortable with him yesterday at practice and today during the morning skate. He doesn't have, obviously, a lot of experience playing on a line with Alexander Wenberg, but, he's comfortable in going into tonight's game. He'd play with anybody tonight. He's been out of there for so long. And if Alexander Wenberg plays the same way that he played in New Jersey the other night, he's going to make Boone Jenner a better player. Because Alexander Wenberg is a table setter, and Boone Jenner can be a finisher. And that's what the Blue Jackets will be looking for from him tonight. Speaking of that, Boone's Goons wants to know, how many goals does Boone score tonight? It wouldn't shock me if he scores a goal. If he scored 2, I would be elated. If he got 1, I would be happy. If he scores none but plays his game and the Blue Jackets win, that doesn't matter either. But I think he'll be good tonight. He's going to bring that energy. I'm just telling you, he's the kind of player that, in my opinion, other players watch and they feed off of his energy. We'll see if that's the case tonight. I sure hope that it will be. Let's see. Nate also says that these next 2 games will be the turn that the team needs after losing. He says, will this be? I forgot that. That leaving out that one word really changes the question a lot. Excuse me. Will this be the turn the team needs after losing 7 of 10? I know it's Carolina, but something has to give. Yeah, if you can win these next 2 games, it's just what Todd Richards was talking about when he was referring to the Carolina Hurricanes and the confidence they have now with a couple of wins. The Blue Jackets will be right back in that boat. they can get a lot of confidence with a couple of wins this week against this team. Then you've got Tampa coming in on Saturday. Very good club, the Tampa Bay Lightning. But as you get Boone Jenner and Matt Calvert back tonight, then hopefully Ryan Murray's ready to go by Thursday or Friday. Thursday we travel, Friday's the game. And then you get Sergei Bobrovsky back, hopefully very soon after that. So that can all start to snowball in a very positive way. And I think that it is kind of a turning point week. I know it's very early in the season, but these 4 points that lie there in the next 2 games are really big points. Sparkle Hard wants to know, who are the Blue Jackets prepared to sacrifice to the hockey gods to prevent more injuries? The first guy that comes to my mind would be Rob Mixer. I mean, you can find another internet writer. You can't find another top centerman or top defenseman. So that would probably be who I would offer up immediately. Now, I don't know if the offer would be accepted. It could be returned. It could be denied. That trade request could be turned down by the hockey gods. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm a little bit more sure that I'm letting on. It might be, but that's who I would offer up. I mean, that's why they call it a sacrifice, right? I mean, somebody's got to go, right? I mean, so pick somebody you think you can replace easily. Poor Rob. If he's not sitting there watching this show right now, his phone's going off left, right, center, all over the place, which is half the fun, because I know he's trying to work on a game day, and now everybody's going to tell him what I said, and it's going to interrupt his entire day, which is almost like sacrificing him anyway. All right, we move on. Andrew Lively wants to know, aside from stopping more shots, what does Curtis McElhaney need to do differently tonight from the Toronto game? I'm glad you asked this, Andrew. I will answer this question for you from the expert goaltending standpoint that I have. No, I don't really have one. But rebound control. Rebound control, okay? Well, that's one. I just thought of another one. He's got to control his rebounds better. He's got to keep the puck closer to him, not give up those second and third opportunities. And number 2, which may even be number 1, stopping a shot is one thing. It is how you stop a shot that makes a difference as to whether or not you're going to stop the next shot. And what I mean by that is, if you are overcommitting, if you're getting yourself out of position to make one save, that's where the rebound control comes in, because you better make that save and control the rebound. If you do not, if you've already put yourself out of position, then a rebound allows the net to be open for somebody else to capitalize. So those would be the things. Stopping the shot is one thing. I go through this with my son all the time, because when I talk to him, I am a goaltending expert, despite whatever he thinks. But he overcommits on his slide a lot of times. And I've had 3 goalie coaches tell me that, and he doesn't want to hear it from them or me, but it's all true. So he overcommits on his slide, and sometimes when he pushes too far, if he makes the initial save and the puck still comes off the body, now he's totally out of the net and the net is open. And the same thing happens at every level of hockey. Sometimes you get caught scrambling to make saves, you get out of position, and now you're trying to hurry and get back into position. And if you don't control the rebound, or if you don't catch the puck cleanly and it comes off the body, now you're in a very precarious position when it comes to the next shot. So that's what I would say about Curtis McElhaney tonight. Just keep the puck as close as you can to you. If you can't catch it, when it drops, make sure it's there where you can control the rebound, get on top of the puck. Don't give those second and third chances. That's what every team's looking for. The goalies that provide the least amount of those chances usually win the most games. How about that, Andrew? You like that? It's a pretty good breakdown, I think. Then again, what do I know? Robert Brock says, how close is Sergei Bobrovsky to coming back from the injury? I think he's close. He was out here yesterday. He was skating yesterday. I don't want to put a day on it because I don't know, and I didn't talk to him, and I didn't talk to any trainers, and the head coach hasn't said. But the fact of the matter is, hopefully he's. I'd love to see him by Saturday, but I don't know if he is going to be ready by Saturday. So we'll find out. It's played by ear type of thing. Courtney wants to know, how is the team? Oh, well, that's about a team morale. Sorry, Courtney, when I said about Kelly and Jody asking that earlier, I'd not remembered that you had asked about the team morale. And again, I think that morale is pretty good. I think it is because of those guys coming back into the lineup tonight. As I said, for the first time, they're seeing, Murray can't play, I know, but but at least they're seeing key guys coming back now and not going out, which has just been going out the door. Now it's coming back the door. Let's see. Alex wants to know, when might we see Artem Anisimov back in the lineup? Everyone loves an Artie party. Yeah, they do. And he was playing so well before he got hurt. So well. He was, I really thought that he was stepping up and filling a void. I really thought his play at the time of his injury was making you not forget that there were other guys injured, but at least you could handle it. At least you didn't sit there and say, you didn't notice it as much. Does that make sense? You didn't notice because he was playing so well. Maybe for the moment you forgot about a Mark Letestu or whoever is who was injured because he was doing so many good things. But without him in there, it makes a big difference. He's a big centerman. He's a great penalty killer. We talk about the penalty kill, and I will do that here for a second. This penalty kill that was really good during the preseason and really good to start the regular season has fallen now to 26th in the NHL, giving up 9 goals on 36 power play chances against. 75%, not good. Whereas Carolina is tied for 18th at 80%. And I think that Artem Anisimov and Mark Letestu being out, I think you have to look at that number and put an asterisk by it and say, yeah, but that's not playing with 2 of your top penalty killers. And Dubinsky is a top penalty killer too. He's not in the lineup. So that number is it reflects in some degree not having some of your better players in the lineup, in my opinion. The power play, Blue Jackets sitting at 13th in the league, 9 power play goals and 46 chances, about 19.5%. Carolina is 8th in the league, 7 power play goals and 32 chances at just under 22%. So let me break this down for you. Don't commit penalties. Your penalty kill is struggling. Their power plays in the top 10. Stay out of the box. Stay out of the box. That was a key against New Jersey. They didn't follow that key, and it cost them in that game. 2 power play goals against of the 3 in that New Jersey game on Saturday night. Don't forget, and I know you haven't. Ryan Fitzgerald just simply wants to know who's still injured. Good question. I mentioned Anisimov and Letestu. Ryan Murray is now back on the shelf, at least for tonight. Cody Golubev is out for the next 6 weeks. James Wisniewski is out with the finger in. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, I saw that Aaron Portzline had just written something about that a little bit ago, about Wisniewski. Let me find that. Because James was down there in the room today, and I talked to him, and I asked him how it was coming along, and he said it was coming along fine. Aaron Portzline says that Wisniewski will have x-rays later today on his broken finger, and he'll have the fingers on his other hand crossed. Very good. Very good. I like that. So, again, Anisimov, Letestu, Murray's out, Golubev's out, Wisniewski's out. And now we're going, where else are we going to go? Jenner's back, Calvert's back, Bobrovsky's out, Dubinsky's out. So there's 7 guys right there, and I probably forgot somebody along the way. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. So, I mean, 7's a lot. 7's a lot in the NHL. 7's a lot in any sport, to be honest with you. But ton of guys, Ryan. That's what it is. Gary Gribble has a question. This is a good question, Gary. And it's not thinking outside of the box. It's just kind of thinking beyond the impact on the game. And just a curiosity question, I think. Gary says, what are the injured reserve players' responsibilities on a day off? Do they have to report for treatment and conditioning? Yes, they have to do that every day. Every day. And they are, as a player will tell you, when you're injured, you feel like you're not part of the team because you're usually showing up either before everybody else gets there to go through what they have to do, or after everybody else has already been through there and they've had their practice and now they're going home to get ready for the game. That's when you're going through your stuff. So you're in the same room, you're in the same building, I should say, but you're not in the dressing room. You're in the training room, but you're not there when the other guys are there. It's all, you're always kind of parallel to the guys. Your paths aren't crossing as much as you want them to be. So yeah, they have to get treatment and conditioning every day. That's a job until they get better, until they're back to regular health, and then they go from there. Let's see, what else do we have here? See, everybody's warning Rob Mixer. I was calling him out. I knew you would. I knew you. I see. It's about knowing your audience. And see, and Rob didn't hear it. And now he's worried about it. And now he's going to have to rely upon what you guys say. So I love that. I've accomplished a goal for the day. I could. I don't even need to show up for the game now, do I? I mean, I've gotten something done for the day. I'm kidding about that. Just kidding. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin just tweeted it right out there, threw it out to the world what I said. So here we go. Matthew wants to know, how will the prospects' temporary NHL experience influence the Blue Jackets' future? I don't think it will influence it in a negative way whatsoever, Matthew. I think these guys getting a chance to play at this level and play the minutes that they are is a good thing for them, for every one of them. I don't care if it's a forward or a defenseman or a goaltender like Anton Forsberg. Anytime you get a chance to play in this league and get that experience, it is a good thing. Maybe you don't perform well in your first go-around, such is the case in professional sports, but you need the experience. It's like when you go on a job interview and people say, well, we wish you had experience. And you're sitting there saying to yourself, well, I wish I had experience too, but nobody will give me a chance. That's the way these guys are. Everybody's looking for a chance. Everybody wants that experience. They're getting it now, and whether they stay here for the rest of the year, whether they go back to Springfield and they do what they're doing from there, use this experience in a very positive way. They're going to be able to, and it's up to them. It's up to them what they do with it. But if they do what is right, and if they do what they should, and I'm just assuming they will take this and use it as a stepping stone and look at it and say, okay, what did I do right? What didn't I do right? What do I have to do better? What areas do I have to work on so that I can be there on a regular basis? All of that stuff. So I think the influence overall, to answer your question, Matthew, it's very good. It's very positive in what's going on here. Let's see. Carolina Hurricanes, Alexander Semin has been a healthy scratch the last 2 games. He's back in the lineup tonight. They'll put him right back on Eric Stahl's line, top line. A lot of people are saying they want to see how he reacts. Carolina got a new coach over the summer. Bill Peters is their new coach, former Detroit Red Wings assistant. And to scratch a guy like Alexander Semin, that's a bold move. That's a bold move by a new coach, a young coach, and a move that he made. And he felt that he had to make. And Semin comes into this game tonight in 8 games with 2 assists and is -7. What does that tell you? Now, and again, this is a team that struggled. Don't get me wrong; they're 2-6-2. But what do those numbers tell you for a guy making like $7 million a year? It tells you that he's obviously not scoring, and he's not playing much defense because he's -7. Fair enough. So if you're here's the deal: if you're not going to play one way. Okay, if your offense isn't working, you better be playing defense. And if your defense isn't working, you better be playing offense. That's what we call a two-way player. And that's what every coach is looking for, somebody that's going to be responsible. If you're giving up 3 goals a game and scoring 4, okay. Doesn't happen very often, right? But if you're getting no goals and on the ice for 3 goals against and your defense is not what it should be, and that's not always that one guy's fault. I get it. I understand that. But sometimes the numbers don't lie. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. But if you're not playing a two-way game, if he's not giving the effort that he needs to be, that's when you need to send a message. And Bill Peters sent the message. So now in Carolina, they want to see how he responds to being a healthy scratch for 2 games. We'll find out tonight. But, it's not like they're bringing him back on the third line. They're putting him right next to Eric Stahl again, putting him right on the top line. So I don't think he'll react badly. Cam Ward is going to make the starting goal tonight. Cam Ward, 2-3-1, 2.98 his goals against coming into this game tonight. He is a guy that for the last year, at least 1 year, maybe 2 years now, they've talked about getting rid of him. Got to get rid of this guy. Paying him too much money. He's not producing. We got to do something. Anton Khudobin is the other goaltender. I can't even say backup because these 2 guys have been playing pretty much neck and neck for months. Khudobin wants to be the number 1 guy. Cam Ward, you know what Cam Ward has? Stanley Cup ring. that he won with the Carolina Hurricanes. That gives you a leg up every time. And they gave him a lot of money. And a lot of teams, if the player struggles and he's making a lot of money, why do you want to take on that salary? Unless you're really in a hurt. So they've talked about getting rid of this guy. No, he can't fit in here anymore. He's no good here anymore. We got to do something about this. Well, guess who's starting tonight? Cam Ward. 4th straight start for Cam Ward. And he's got the wins. So one of those is at the shutout win I talked to you earlier about over the Arizona Coyotes. So he's back. But goalies never go away. They never go away. They're always there. And especially guys that win a Stanley Cup with a team. They're going to be there. And they're going to have their ups and downs to some extent. That's the way it is. Cam Ward's going to start tonight. And he's been good. And when he is good, he makes his team better. And the Blue Jackets will have to deal with that here tonight. But to me, again, just to put a bow on it here today, this game is about the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's about getting Calvert and Boone Jenner back in the lineup. It's about playing their game. It's about an aggressive forecheck. It's about taking a team that has won back-to-back games and for the first time all year is feeling good about itself. It's about taking that team and throwing them down and stomping on them in your own building. It's a home-and-home series. You get the first one in your building. You have to take advantage of that. You got to break out of your own 5-game losing streak. You got to pummel these guys, and I don't mean 5-1. You can pummel a team at 3-2 based on the way you play. But they've got to beat them. Not be lucky to get a win. Not get by. Beat them. Definitively beat them. And then go down there on Friday and definitively beat them again. And let them know that every time you face us in the division this year, you're going to get beat. That's what I think the Blue Jackets have to do. It starts with one win at a time. I understand that. Go out there and play your game. Help your goaltender. Play in front of Curtis McElhaney the way you played in front of Anton Forsberg the other night. Try to make it as easy as possible on Curtis. Finish your checks. Hammer these guys. Get in their zone. Force turnovers. Pound them. Just pound them. Physically, on the scoreboard would be nice. Just win this game. Walk away from this game with a win that people aren't going, man, they were lucky to win. Just have one of those games. Just one. Because I think one leads to 2. And then maybe 2 leads to 3. But you've got to get the 1 before you can start all of that. And that's what I would like the Blue Jackets do tonight. One more question just rolled in. Kevin Young. Does a team have to have a healthy scratch every game? Let me start with that part of the question. Yeah, because you usually have – it's a 23-man roster. You're going to have 18 skaters and 2 goalies every night, so you don't have to have a healthy scratch. If the other guys are hurt, that's one thing, but more than likely you're going to have one. When you don't have one, that's when you're banged up. And why do the scratches stay in the press box instead of closer to the team? Well, there's nowhere closer to the team. Would you want to sit them in the row right behind the bench? They can't go there. That's just how they work out during the first period, and then they come upstairs. So there's just nowhere else to put them, to be honest with you, Kevin. Like closer to the team as they sit back in the dressing room and watch it on TV, than rather that they see the game. And when you see it from upstairs, where we are up here, you see it differently. You see it develop. You basically, when you're watching the game from up here, it's like watching the film. It's the faraway shot where you can break it down, watch plays develop, and all that stuff. So they like them to watch it from upstairs. But again, there's just no place to put them. So that's why they're there. All right. Hope that helps. Hope it does. All right. Hey, don't forget it. It's election day. Unless you're watching this in Canada, then it's probably not, or maybe it is. I don't know. You can be watching it from anywhere in the world, but here in the U.S., it's election day. So if you haven't gone out and voted, go cast your vote. It's a privilege. It's your right. It's a privilege. Go out and do it. I've got to do that. I got to do research before I go, though. I can't just walk out there and do that. I've got to do all of that and then be back here 7 o'clock tonight. I'll talk to you then.
Talk to you later. Don't want to hear it again tonight. I'll talk to you later. Just save it for another guy. I'll talk to you tonight. I'll just see you around.